When I booted up Ratchet & Clank for the first time on my PS5, I noticed that my TV was not up to snuff in the HDR department. Luckily, I recently purchased a Samsung Odyssey G7 monitor with HDR 600, a leagues difference from my 5-year-old 4K TV. So I thought, hey, quick swap over and I'll be able to utilize my Sennheiser HD6XX headphones as well. That's when I noticed something on the PS5 that I still don't understand, and that's the exclusion of an optical out or toslink connection. That's a bummer, since most of my audio equipment utilizes that, and Sony's answer to it is just to use audio over HDMI, which isn't an option with my computer desk setup. This caused an issue, as I wanted to use my G7 monitor, but I had no way of hearing the audio in a headphone format. Sure, I could just plug my Sennheisers into the controller, but since the headphones run a hell of a lot more better with an amp and DAC, and my amp and DAC require an optical connection, you know where this is going. The solution to my problem, and one that I kind of wanted to happen so I had an excuse to buy these, was the purchase of the Sony branded Pulse 3D wireless headphones. Now I own some Sony wireless earbuds and they've been a treat in both lifespan and sound. In my eyes, Sony knows headphones better than a lot of other brands, but more on that later. The headphones themselves are made entirely of plastic. Not a bad type of plastic. I feel like I could actually yeet these things across the room and they'd be totally fine. Though I would say that there's not much give in the plastic around the ear cups, giving them no real way to adjust to your head shape left and right other than the faux leather pads that go over your ears. The head strap is semi-adjustable by this rubber piece at the top. There's no real padding other than the rubber piece, but it does a decent job at not causing any pressure at the top of my head. But your mileage may vary. Putting on the Pulse headset, at least on my head, doesn't feel too great. While the rubber strap at the top does a decent job at holding up the weight of the ear cups themselves have some insane clamping force. With glasses, these things push tight around the temple area. It would help a lot more if there was a way to adjust this, but the clamping force comes from one solid piece of plastic, so I wouldn't go hoping for much over time. This also brings me back to the ear cups themselves. Coupled with high clamping force, the ear cups don't do much in terms of padding out some of that clamp. They're soft, but they're very deceivingly thin. That leads me to some of the onboard controls. The biggest downside to me is that all the controls are on one side, causing you to accidentally hit the chat game slider instead of the volume adjustment. This could definitely be fixed with just some time of use with the headphones and muscle memory, but there really isn't a reason why we couldn't have some of these controls on the other side to make it a lot more user-friendly. The controls feature a volume up and down, a slider to adjust chat audio to be louder than game audio, and vice versa. It also features a physical mute button, a 3.5mm audio end jack, dual noise-canceling microphones, a microphone monitor slider, a power on and off slider, and a USB-C charging port all in one ear cup. I will say that aesthetically, I do dig the headphones. They match the DualSense and PlayStation 5 very well, and the headphones themselves have very minimal branding if you're into that sort of thing. But these things sitting around the PlayStation ecosystem, the Pulse definitely does not stand out or look too gamery. Now on to the nitty gritty. These are wireless headphones that can connect either through your DualSense controller or wirelessly through the PS5 through this here dongle. Connecting the Pulse to the PS5 is super simple, as for me it was as easy as plugging in the USB dongle, turning on the power, and the PS5 instantly connected to it and turned on 3D audio. That leads me to one of the selling points of the Pulse headphones, the 3D audio. Oh, the 3D audio. Oh, we're about to get technical. One of the selling points of the PS5 is its use of Tempest 3D audio through its proprietary onboard 3D engine. I theorize that this is the reason why they nixed the Toslink connection and decided to go do things differently and most likely sell products like the Pulse. 3D audio should deliver an experience much like Dolby Atmos, where the sound feels like it's coming from all around you, and have a sense of depth more than standard stereo audio, which feels like it's just coming through the left and right channel. Inside the ear cups are two 40mm drivers at a 45-degree angle. I imagine this was done to have sound both in front of your left and right ears, but also have some of that sound coming from behind you to take advantage of that 3D audio. Setting up 3D audio is super simple. You go to the settings, down to sound, set up 3D audio, and you have these options with sound cues to pick how high your ear holes are to the speakers to give you that more immersive feel. All that sounds good, and for the price you pay for these and the company making them, you expect all this to run in really good synergy with one another. It really doesn't. For some reason, with 3D audio on, sounds are muffled. Footsteps sound like they're coming from really far away and don't have that bassy oomph to them. Big explosions sound super disappointing, and voices sound like they're coming through a toilet paper roll. It would help if the headphones put out some very loud sound, but even at its loudest setting, some of the sounds were loud and others still accentuated its muffled sound. After doing some research, it turns out that this problem isn't exclusive to the Pulse headphones and happens with just about anything associated using the Tempest audio, including legacy headphones from the PS4 era, with some suggesting to turn the 3D audio off altogether. Turning off 3D audio, the headphones are much clearer, albeit a bit low on the sound department, still needing to compensate for it by cranking them up all the way to hear a lot of details in the sound. Couple that with the insane clamping force, and you're still in for a decently uncomfortable experience, even with the 3D audio off. But wait, you say, aren't these headphones advertised as 3D audio headphones? Yes, they are. Which is why I can't recommend these, since you legit have to turn off 3D audio, which are selling points, to get decent audio out of these things. And of course, what is a headset without its microphone? Well, this is its microphone.
What the microphone sounds like on the 3D Pulse headphones. As you can probably hear, since it doesn't have a boom mic in the front, it gets a lot of the noise from around the room. Even if it is noise canceling, it does sound very, very, very bad.
What's this, an aquarium?
For comparison, this is audio coming from the DualSense controller about 3 feet away from my mouth. As you can hear, the sound is a bit louder, but is much clearer and definitely picks up less background noise than the 3D Pulse headset. As a straight-up wireless headset, you get some very okay audio with all the extra stuff like chat sliders and a microphone. But tight clamping force and sound quality as well as non-user-friendly controls make this a tough recommendation, especially when there's other headphones out there around the same price range offering a better experience overall, if you can find any without an optical connection needed, which a lot of these wireless options use. Overall, if you have a smaller head, unlike my giant one, and don't really care about the audio quality or 3D audio altogether, these are pretty robust and decent all-in-one package for $100, especially with how well the aesthetics blend in with Sony's 5th generation ecosystem. However, if you're buying these for the incredibly immersive soundscapes where it feels like as if the sound is coming from every direction, or a new generation in gaming audio, I definitely recommend you look elsewhere. Hey, thank you so much for tuning into our first episode of ViewPOINT. I will be doing more content like this in the future, but if you like this video, go ahead and leave us a like down below, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and comment if you want to see any other reviews from the PIP team. Otherwise, you have a good ass day. Alright, I wonder if I could return these. I wonder if I'm out of my return window. Might have to try something new here.